Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Pretend Problems podcast. I'm Kelsey Cook.
And I'm Mike Myers.
Oh.
But which one?
Hey.
Murderer or hilarioso?
Yeah. Is it a callback to last episode or is it because it's October? Happy Halloween month.
I'm not sure yet.
No, it's a choose your own adventure.
That's right.
On Pretend Problems.
You're taking me on a date tomorrow.
I am taking you on a date tomorrow.
I'm so excited. Now, here's what was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I said, do you have plans during the day? Can we do this? Can we do that? And you said, it doesn't matter when we go on the date. You said we can have an early dinner because the debate is on tomorrow and I'm interested in watching, and so are you. Mm-hmm. And then you said the activity is during the day.
Yeah.
And that's what allows us to have an early dinner. And I thought, activity? I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm. And you won't be able to guess.
Really?
Yeah, you're usually good at guessing, but you won't be able to. I've never brought it up around you.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I also have a date idea for you.
You do?
And it'd be very interesting if it were the same one.
Yeah, it would be.
But I don't know when mine is open. But anyways, I've been wanting to go there since you moved here.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. So I'm very excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, next time on the podcast, next week, you guys will hear what we did. But for now, it's a surprise.
Yeah, and one of the things I asked you about to try to plan our day was we're talking to my financial advisor. Mm-hmm. And he's going to most likely try to talk us into buying life insurance, which is, I mean, the biggest fucking win for you possible.
But we don't know these things, and it is morbid to talk about.
Right. And I know we don't know the future, but if we're playing the odds, I mean, you and I getting life insurance and naming the other the beneficiary is like a girl's drink free on Thursdays for you. It's just so, I have all these things floating around in my head, and I get to a point where I go, you know what? She's still here. It has to be for me.
Yes.
And now I
you dork.
Sticking $1 million price tag on my head. I'm fucking.
It's so funny because, listen, I like to think that I'm a smart gal. Trying to find a modest way to say that. But things like life insurance and 401ks and retirement and investing, these are all things that are way like in the ether for me, that only in recent years have I started to try and understand, okay, like how do these things work? Because I wasn't sat down as a child and taught this is how it works. I don't feel like it was taught to us. There wasn't like a life insurance class in high school. Like we weren't being taught these things.
Right.
So I didn't fully understand how that all worked, and
I'm not sure you still do also.
I'm not sure I still do either.
Because there are times where I'll be working on something, and it's whether it's Roth IRA or trying to figure out tax deductible loopholes or all these things. And picture an older sibling doing homework and a very antsy younger sibling that wants to play and is just like, what you doing? What you doing over there? What you doing?
Is that me?
A little. And it's adorable. And I have some of it figured out, and some of it is, it's for me, it's like craps, right? I don't understand the entire game, but I do get the things I'm doing very well, if that makes sense. Yeah. So if you're like, well, what do you think about this and this? And I'll go, I didn't even know I was part of the game. But I'm sitting in my corner with all my chips. So I feel kind of confident to do that. But I'm excited for you it will be interesting. I'm sure it's going to be, he's going to say, all right, we're going to get these policies, X amount of dollars. And, if Kelsey happens to pass first, I don't even know why I'm saying that. It's going to be a lot of that stuff.
It's weird. These are morbid conversations to have. But I was telling you earlier, it's also like weirdly romantic for me, and not about the financial part of it, but just like this commitment of like,
right.
we are each other's people, that we're talking about. Like when one of us passes, we are the people that are being given the help.
Yeah. And what I think is interesting is sweet. Once you name a beneficiary for one policy that you're paying for that you commit to, you can't change the beneficiary.
Oh, wow. That's
Don't you fucking say anything. Don't you email her. So it's true. So anyways, tomorrow.
I bought
what
that
do you mean?
completely.
Bought what? I'm serious. So tomorrow when we sign it, it's like official. It's that's it. If you want your money, honey, stick around.
It's so funny, the order in which we've done our life together. It's like we bought a house, we're getting life insurance, and then we'll get married. We're like not going in the usual order, I don't think. But
and I can't wait to fucking blow a kid into you at 65.
Blow a kid into me.
Oh, I'm not even kidding.
Oh God, that's funny.
Yep. I'm saving up. I'm going to break right through this vasectomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, get ready.
Just shoot a hole through my uterus.
It's going to be unbelievable. You're going to get pregnant in your lungs.
Oh, fuck. That's so funny. What was I going to say about life insurance? Oh, it's funny because I didn't grow up with money, and I care about money now in the way that like I want to make money for myself, and I want to live a comfortable lifestyle.
Would you say you want to make money just for yourself?
And I want my partner to make money.
The reason we're laughing is because we recently had a financial conversation that both of us are very happy with.
Yeah.
But there are times when you're talking about finances, it gets a little weird.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I was just busting her chops, inside joke style, but
just couldn't help it.
No.
But it's interesting, like, so the stuff, you know, that's going on with my mom, as you guys know, which, we didn't give an update yet on that talk, did we? On going to the fundraiser. So we'll have to give an update on that. You know, unfortunately, my mom worked her ass off her whole life, taught for like 30 something years, maybe 40 years, very, very long time, retired, and had this like beautiful retirement that she had set up for herself to live off of. And then this goddamn disease just like completely bled her dry. Like after she was in the hospital for 5 months, and then now is in an adult family home, and those are insanely expensive. My God. And now she's on Medicaid, Medicare, whichever, both. And so it is interesting because like there are people in my life who have lost a parent, and then they're like, well, like this is so hard, but like, you know, I'll try and use the money that I got in some sort of good way for them. And like my brother and I, there's like no money to be gotten, and that's like completely fine. I don't give a fuck. But when you're talking about like, it's the same way I feel about life insurance. Like I wasn't even thinking about that. I don't care.
Sure. Just going on record.
It's more like in the moment. Like I want to feel secure financially, and I want you to feel secure financially.
I'm going to 93. I told you that.
I'll live to 93.
If you don't listen to my other podcast, just very quickly, I found out way late in life, maybe like 6 years ago, that I had a great uncle on my dad's side. I don't know a lot of his relatives. And he lived to 93 and was in his home, physically fine, mentally fine, until just one day he went in and he was like, my chest hurts. And they're like, go home. And then he went home and
passed in his sleep?
In his sleep. I mean, 93. Come and get me at 93, motherfucker.
What more could you ask for? That's a very peaceful way to go.
No kidding. And just walking around, driving to the hospital himself.
Wow.
If I get that, so I would want one thing from my past relatives, and it's that. I mean, that's asking a lot, I know, but still.
That's nice. Yeah. So we did tell you guys we'd give an update on the dementia fundraiser we went to. First of all, God, am I so glad and grateful that you were there. That made such a huge difference to have you there. And there were about 150 people, and I went up and gave my speech, and God, I was nervous. It's so weird. It's like I don't often get that nervous anymore to do stand-up, but it is the opposite of stand-up. Like, you're not trying to make people laugh. You're not trying to make people cry, but you're like trying to connect with them. Mm-hmm. And I talked for almost 10 minutes, and it was silent the whole time because that's what is respectful. They're listening to you. But I had to tell myself over and over, like, you're not bombing, you're not bombing, you're not bombing. Like, this is okay.
Interesting.
This is like what is supposed to happen, is that they're supposed to just listen. And but
you didn't tell me the you're not bombing part. You told me all the other stuff, but you never told me about you're not bombing, because like, yeah.
Well, but I would start to like get nervous and like talk fast because I was just like, oh God, this feels so bad. But that's what you're not supposed to make people laugh. It was weird, but as comics, we are trained to not want to hear silence on stage. That if you're hearing a bunch of silence during a stand-up show, it's probably not going the way you want.
And so I'm going to tell you that maybe I've said this before, but Dave Mordahl, Minnesota comedy legend. Mm-hmm. We were doing a bar show at the old Broadway in Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's like half dance club. And then they were like, well, this booth never gets sat. Let's turn it into a stage. Like that kind of shit with folding chairs.
Oh, God.
And so I'm opening for him, which is absolutely how it should have been. And he goes, I noticed that you're kind of like a machine gun comedian. Mm-hmm. And he goes, let's see how long we can keep their attention by just telling a story. Because if you have an audience's attention, you're not bombing. It's only when they lose interest and start talking. And so I was like, okay. So I go up there, and I probably just under 3 minutes before I got nervous and started machine gunning my jokes again. And then he went up and didn't even fucking do it. So he totally tricked me into eating shit in the first almost 3 minutes of my set. But I do have to tell you, it kind of was right. And then that's why I bring it up, because there are times in stand-up where you can't stay up here. If you stay up here, it's not fun, because when you're here, all of a sudden here for the longest time, let's say there are 10 lines on a screen, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like a ladder for a while. You go up, 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 and then all of a sudden, all you're seeing is up here. They're passing. Yeah. You can't even see the difference, and that now becomes average.
Yeah.
So you have to go up and down in stand-up, or it doesn't make sense. And even if you don't get a laugh for 2 minutes, if you're explaining something or really connecting, I think that's great. And I was watching the crowd because I knew you kind of had your head down at times. So I was watching the crowd, and every time you said something, it was, can I say something from the speech?
Sure.
Okay. So you at one point had said, for my whole life, my mom has been the person that I had gone to when something was going horrible, or to talk to, or to whatever.
Be comforted.
And you said, now she is the thing I need to be comforted about.
And I can't go to her.
Fuck every single person in that room got touched by the person they were next to. It was crazy. All the hands like did this. Oh. So many people nodding, so many people crying. There were a table right next to me, and I believe they were all siblings with spouses. Mm-hmm. And they must have had a parent in that situation, because it was glazed city on the eyes. Oh. It was, it really, really was well done. And I'm not fluffing your nuts. I wouldn't, I would just shut up and let you keep going. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. It was really something.
Thanks. Yeah. I felt very, very honored that they asked me to do that. And so just eye-opening to meet all these people who, my mom is 71 and has it because it's called I think I usually say frontotemporal, but I think the doctor was pronouncing it frontotemporal. I don't know if like both are acceptable, but either way, it hits people a lot younger than Alzheimer's does. And so my mom is so young to be going through this and like the late stages of it. But then you're hearing these stories from people who their spouse passed when they were 55.
Yeah.
And left like a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, like these kids who I was meeting them and being like, I'm so sorry for your loss. And they're just these like high schoolers with eyes of steel. It's like the strength that these kids have is beyond. I can't even imagine. So it was a very emotional night and very hard, but also helped me feel less alone in meeting so many other people who are affected by it. So
yeah, I'm glad you went.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
This is a complete gear shift.
Do it.
Chad got Chipotle 5 meals in a row.
5 meals in a row.
And I got it 3 of those 5 meals in a row.
Yeah. Because
they have smoked brisket right now, and holy shit.
It's so good. My first and last were chicken bowls.
Okay.
And then 3 in the middle were brisket. And I have to tell you, the 5th time I had it, I had to stop mid burrito and I was out.
I've never seen you do that.
I didn't. It was like starting to make me nauseous, the taste of it.
Yeah.
And so I could. 5 is my max. We figured it out. 4.5 actually.
Yeah, I've never. You had like a small talk with yourself. You're like, okay. Yep. You like really hit a wall with it. But listen, we're not sponsored by Chipotle, but I'm just telling you, I think it's limited edition. Yep. And it is special. It is a real special situation that they got over there right now. So just to let you know, we had
I would agree with that.
Chipotle madness.
In my opinion, it's brown rice, pinto beans, the brisket, little bit of every salsa with the corn, guac, no cream, no cheese,
no lettuce. Oh.
Fuck this lettuce. I mean, brisket. You're going to bring lettuce into my brisket?
That's true. I do always just add it to be healthy, but it doesn't really match what's happening.
It also isn't that healthy. It's like some little bit of fiber.
It's some romaine. It's green. It's something.
Disagree.
It's better than nothing.
Well, I almost disagree with that.
You find a scientist to tell me that having a little romaine as opposed to none is better. I
don't think it's that good. I don't think that's that great for you. I think it has fiber, but so do the pinto beans.
Yeah, but
fight.
What else were we going to talk about before the middle segment? Anything? Did we cover it all?
I think we did. I think we were going to, in the middle segment, can I bring it up?
Yeah.
Which is perfect for this.
Yeah.
What chain restaurant if you had to pick one of them to eat at for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, a strategy here, of course, would be menu variety.
Yeah.
But I did not do that. Okay. My answer would kill me in 2 weeks. It's Five Guys.
Oh my God, which I've still never have had. How have I not had it yet?
If you go to Five Guys when I can't have it.
No, I won't. I'll wait.
Then
I'll wait. I know.
Collecting life insurance a lot fucking sooner than everybody thinks.
I will wait for you.
Yeah, no shit.
I know how much you love it.
I would be very upset if you did that. Actually, whatever. So here's why I love it.
Okay.
There are so many, and I'm going to call them fixins. Okay. So many fixins. You can load it up with just about everything besides romaine lettuce, you fucking. But here's what I love. What happens is all of the toppings, they won't stay on the burger and the bun. So they fall off.
Slip and slide?
Yeah. Then you take a fry, you bend it in half, you use them as chopsticks. You grab the stuff that's fallen, probably some cheese in there. I'm getting horny just talking about it. Dip it in just a little smidge of ketchup, just a
dabble, do you?
Just a how do you do? And then right in your mouth.
That sounds so good.
I could do that until 93.
Can I tell you that Five Guys used to be the scariest sounding place to me because I still thought I had a severe peanut allergy.
We all did. Some of us didn't have peanut butter for 2 years when we could have.
Some of us didn't have peanut butter for almost 20 years.
That's your own fucking fault. Check with a doctor.
I did. That's who told me I couldn't have it.
Yeah, well, 20 years ago, though.
I know, but still.
How do you not second opinion peanut butter?
It had been a long time, and I had brainwashed myself into thinking that almond butter was just as good, so I thought I was fine.
Oh, my God.
Do you know how often I still have almond butter? Never.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't miss almond butter.
If peanut butter is the gold medalist at the Olympics, almond butter is someone who hasn't even been born yet, but is going to have a limp and never even go into sports. I truly believe that.
Yeah, between the deadly peanut allergy and not being able to have bread or cheese, Five Guys was like, what am I even doing remotely near there? Yeah. I didn't think I could ever have Five Guys. So once you can have your bread and cheese again, let's go. Let's make it a priority.
All right.
Okay. All right. So
I was looking for a piece of paper to write something on, and I accidentally found one of your journals from college, and it said you did have Five Guys.
Oh my God. Hilarious. So
I couldn't resist. I know it wasn't funny and it wasn't worded right, and I panicked, but I just wanted an orgy joke. Okay.
So very funny. Okay, is it my turn to share my chain?
Yeah, please.
Okay. This isn't everywhere, but it's a lot of places. It's a chain. That was what we said was a chain restaurant.
Okay.
And it's not as exciting as yours, but I would say Sweetgreen. Did you fall asleep?
Oh my God.
Sweetgreen is good because then you can have plates, like a protein plate, or you can have a salad.
I understand why you want to do it, but that's not the game. The game isn't for health. The game is for awesomeness.
It's for longevity. It's if you could only eat at one.
I understand that. You know, at a kid's meal at Sweetgreens, you know what they get in the bag? A fucking crystal. Not a toy. Unbelievable.
Would you like a beet juice box?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. A wheatgrass shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say when you walk into a Sweetgreen, it does kind of smell like death right away. If you've ever been in, it smells like weird, like warm wild rice that's been in a toilet. Like it smells really bad in there.
It smells like microwave broccoli.
Yes, and Brussels, but it's like then you kind of know it is healthy. It smells very hippy dippy in there, but it's very good. Guacamole green salad. Ugh, find a better salad. You can't.
Well, I mean, that's insane what you're saying right there.
Hey, if there is a Sweetgreen in my kitchen, I would eat salad every day, but I can't make salads that taste that good, and so then I don't have them. I just have an ice cream bar instead.
Yeah, I mean, find a better salad is like not even a challenge.
Yeah.
Because you know what a better salad is? A fucking burger with romaine lettuce on it. Well,
we came up with this middle segment question right before we started recording,
but that is a good one if you're going for health. I thought we were going for pure
joy.
Like, what do you want to fucking eat?
Well, I've learned that my Chipotle limit is 3 days, so that's not great.
That's true.
Oh, Mia. Every time we try to start the question segment, she's just on my lap in the weirdest way. Okay, guys, we're going to get into questions. Boom. pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We just did a Patreon episode that was all listener questions. It was a long one. It's a full-length episode.
Yep. We talked about some good ones.
We did. We talked about people's pets, watching them have sex, and like each person in the relationship not knowing how they feel about it. Mm-hmm. We talked about like more airplane etiquette stuff. We talked about, what was it? Oh, the dental hygiene update.
Oh yeah, that lady whose husband had a mouthful of rot and she didn't know how to tell him.
Yes. And we got into kind of debates about why people should or shouldn't have kids. It was a fun episode. So if you haven't heard your question read yet on the podcast, there's a chance we read it on Patreon. So if you want to join Patreon, it's patreon.com/pretendproblems.
And this is not a trick or a ploy. We just have too many questions.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do something with them because we do want to respond to them.
Yes. Okay. So this first one, titled creepy neighbor update.
Boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
He's dead.
Hey, Chad and Kelsey, I wanted to provide a little update on the creepy neighbor situation, which, if you have started listening to the pod on this episode, maybe go back an episode or two, because there's an old man neighbor lurking on this poor guy's wife and daughter, and it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I did take Chad's advice and had a guys' night around the fire and got a feel for how he treats other wives and daughters. It seems to be a pattern that he makes most wives feel uncomfortable and makes inappropriate comments. Apparently, he enjoys yoga pants. There was another dad who said he commented on his high school daughter. When this father confronted him, he used the rationale that she lost weight and he knows girls are so sensitive about these things that he wanted to let her know he noticed. Ugh. I did check all the registered sites, as well as with a family member who worked for a local police department. The neighbor came back clean and not on any watch list. My wife also had a conversation with his wife out by the mailboxes and brought up his comments about our daughter's legs and his negativity at the lemonade stand. His wife actually knew about the situation because he was shocked that I told him he was being reprehensible. She made a similar comment about my daughter thinning out, and he was trying to make sure she knew it was noticeable. My wife let her know that it's that kind of thinking that gives body issues to young girls, and no adult should ever be commenting on a little girl and how her body appears. His wife did say that he would just not talk to our kids when they saw them, to which my wife responded, he had better not. Mark has had enough. As it sits, myself and a few dads have a mini neighborhood watch for when we see him talking to wives or daughters, where one of us will go out and keep an eye on things. It has happened a few times, and we just walk over and interrupt the conversation. He is now staying more to himself on his porch after just a few interactions. I feel somewhat better about the situation, and I think my daughter is safe, but I still plain overthink every interaction with this creep. Thanks for the advice, and keep up the great work, Mark. Oh, Mark, thank you for the update.
Yeah.
You know we wanted one.
Thank you. I don't think a 10-year-old needs to hear that they've thinned out.
No, and I could not agree more with your wife, where it's like, just, that's nobody's business to talk about, period. Like, yeah. You know what I mean?
He's talking about her period?
That just made me shoot snot out.
If that happens, then you come get me. Then we go full fucking...
Yeah. Then we go
Expendables.
militia. Yeah. I'm really glad that you guys have taken so much action and just are looking out for one another. I think that's really amazing. So thank you for letting us know.
Yes, that's great.
Okay. This is a bit of a long one, but I do...
Oh my God.
So I will skip around a bit.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
It's just a long one.
Yeah. It's titled Decidedly Not a Pretend Problem. I did think this is like a good one for us to try to give advice on, and I think other people might relate to it because it's ironically about money, just like what we were talking about at the beginning of this episode. Hey, Kelsey and Chad, have been a longish term fan. I was more familiar with Chad's work after his Your Mom's House appearances over the years and have only recently been turned onto Kelsey's work. Love the work you both do and started on PP podcast in the mid-30s and liked it so much, I went back and watched all of the episodes to get fully caught up. Needless to say, lifelong fan and love you both. Your work together on the pod means a lot to me. Thank you.
That's very nice.
That's so nice. Okay. So I have a non-pretend problem that I would appreciate or like your perspective on. I have been married to my wife for close to 20 years. Traditionally, we had gotten on extremely well and were like a benchmark couple for a lot of people, as we were extremely happy and rarely fought. In 2021, my wife left the company she worked at after a long tenure due to challenges she had with toxic behavior exhibited by upper management. While away, she took the opportunity to pursue another career path, taking courses and such. Of course, COVID hit and launching your own business became problematic. I talked to her back in 2022, asking her to start looking at getting a job as money was starting to run short and her unemployment checks were going to run out. She assured me at the time she'd find something and I had nothing to worry about. Flash forward a year and she still has no job and feels uncomfortably comfortable. That is to say, uncomfortable to me and too casual and comfortable for her. I had to have the same conversation, saying that I felt very unsafe with the direction we were headed. She agreed to look for something verbally at the time, however, dragged her feet in actualizing something. She eventually took on a part-time role. However, the money still wasn't sufficient to sustain us. At various points throughout this process, I fell into a depression on top of the anxiety I'd been managing all my life. There was a lack of urgency on the part of my wife in addressing my concerns, that she was content to be served rather than to equally serve me. My love language is acts of service, to be clear, that she was essentially being selfish. I had another of these unpleasant conversations with my wife in June, suggesting that maybe couples counseling was in order, if for no other reason than to work on enhancing communications. She was not very receptive to this, just stating that she didn't know that's where we were, meaning I didn't realize things were so bad we needed counseling. Flash forward to September, and I'm buying groceries and all our cards are maxed out. We're at a point where we have to sell the house in order to not continue to sink. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to paraphrase things so it's not super, super long. We are now hundreds of thousands in debt on top of our mortgage. We have been living on my salary alone now for 3 years. In our last discussion, when we were talking about the situation being as bad as it is, she asked if I contemplated leaving her. I didn't answer, which set her off, and she started hysterically crying for about 30 to 40 minutes. I told her that obviously I didn't want to leave her and that the situation was very hard. So for now, we're trying to navigate our way through. We're selling the house. She says she's committed to finding a higher paying job. I don't think she's a bad person, but I also don't know whether or not she can put the family first when it's necessary. Clearly she fucked up, which she admitted to, and says she will do what is necessary. She's the mother of my kids, which also adds to the complexity. And the finances piece isn't solely her, as there are obviously 4 of us living in the house with multiple pets. So I guess the question is, do I continue to deal with not being treated as a priority? I honestly don't know if this is sustainable. Even if we move and get things settled, I'm angry, I'm resentful, I don't trust her decision-making process. I'm clearly going to have to take over the finances to make sure we're never in this position again, and I already do a lot at home. What would you guys do? I would respectfully ask that if you do read this, that you please do it on the main episode. I would love to support the show on Patreon, but clearly do not have the means to do so at this time, hopefully down the road. Signed, and then I won't read your name. Man. Whew. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I can start.
Okay, go ahead.
As someone who goes up to the cabin and contemplates unplugging from the world for the rest of my life, I understand getting that taste of not working and loving it.
Yeah.
However, when there are other people involved, where there still are, but they're fine, then you need to not think that way. Yeah. Then you need to go, how do I help my family? How do I provide? How do I do this and that? So here's where I would start. First of all, I think asking about couples counseling is a great idea. Yeah. And when she says, oh, I didn't know we were there, be like, well, we fucking are.
We've been there.
We're selling our home.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah. And
so, not like that, obviously, if she's crying for 30 to 40 minutes, but also, guess what? I've squeezed out some crocodile tears in my life. I've seen it. I had a daughter who was 16 where she would go, Dad, I didn't know. And I would just put my fingers on her forehead and push her back, be like, no, this isn't real. So I'm not saying they're not real, but it's like you feel bad in the moment. I think we've all done it, right? You feel absolutely responsible for this situation in the moment. And then as soon as everyone's done yelling at you, you're like, all right, I weathered it.
Yeah.
I would put together a financial sheet, whatever you want to call it. But I would go, here's where we were when you stopped working because of this thing. And throughout here's what we had. Here's where we were financially. And then you're going to have to show some points along the way to illustrate it. And then here's where we are now. This cannot continue, because then you can also go, all right, that's been 5 years. Let's look at where we're going to be 5 years from now. Yeah. And you just have to keep on going. So I think it's the shock of seeing the numbers for some people. You actually, maybe she just doesn't get it. Maybe she doesn't know how dire the situation is. Yeah.
I am curious, because you're saying that obviously you'll have to take over the finances in terms of alarm, that you'll have to be the one to be kind of handling all of the finances, I think, in terms of planning, maybe is what you're saying. And I'm curious why she is so unaware because you guys have kids.
Yeah.
It's like, how has she been living for so long, like without this knowledge of this is what we need to live. This is what we need to like continue to grow and support our children. I don't know if she just thought that like magically maybe you wouldn't care and that like you would continue to make money. I don't know how old your kids are. If like
get a second job or something.
Yeah, if like I don't know if your kids are at an age where she maybe saw other people being like a stay-at-home mom and thought, oh, maybe I can just do this. Who knows? But I'm sorry that it's taken getting to this point for some real action or real conversations to be happening, because this sounds like this stuff started before you. Like money is this weird thing that people have such an individual relationship with that starts from like how our parents were with money and the messaging that was taught to us. And maybe in couples counseling, you guys will find out what each other's relationship to money is, because some people are not motivated by money positively or negatively. They just like are kind of unaware of it, and that is, I think, a scary place to be.
But to bring 5 other people to the homeless shelter with you is unacceptable.
1,000%.
And maybe this is something else. Maybe something snapped when she had to leave because of what was going on at work. Maybe she was like, fuck this institution situation. You know, I don't know, but this doesn't sound normal to me. I'm trying to put this in a nice light. This situation to me doesn't seem motherly or fatherly, but we're talking about a mom here. So it just seems like she's kind of thrown in the towel a little bit. And that's, I'm so sorry you're going through this, because I've been through times in my life where financial stress, it's a different kind of stress because it's very real and nobody else gives a fuck. The people you owe money to, they don't fucking care what's going on. They don't want to hear about the trials and tribulations of COVID and your wife trying to start a business. Nobody wants to hear any of that shit.
Yeah, it's
They
true.
want their money, and it's a different kind of stress. So I am very, very sorry you're going through this.
Yeah.
I hope the kids, I mean, they're absorbing a lot of this, of course, because kids are little fucking sponges no matter how old they are.
Yeah. Which is too bad. And that's not your fault. You're clearly doing everything you can. And this is brutal.
I would maybe you already have, brought out how kids, they do a PowerPoint when they want a dog. They're like, can I see you both in the living room?
May I escort you to our sitting area?
As you can see, I've cut up some cheese and brought some crackers. I couldn't open the bottle of wine because I'm a child and didn't know how to use the corkscrew, but I want a dog and here's why. I think you might have to pull one of those. You might have to go, hey, look, we are fucking sinking here.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, what do you think is going to happen if you continue not to work? Like, where do you think this money is going to come from?
Yeah.
So.
And also, I know this is another expense, but if you can get a t-shirt that says no free rides and just wear it constantly, I would also do that. Just be like, huh?
Yeah. Hey. I wonder what's going on with her mentally too.
That's what I meant by like, maybe something happened with work, but.
Yeah. Because I know if somebody's going through like a true depression, there can be a like feeling of actual inability to do the things that would get you a job, like doing a job search, whatever. Sometimes people feel like they cannot get out of bed. I don't know if any of that's going on with her or if she is just living the high life, just chilling at home.
Well, it could be, you quit your job, you try to start a business, that doesn't work. You try to do this, that doesn't work. Now you see that it's affecting your family. So it could be just her getting punched in the head, but eventually you're going to have to stand up and deal with this. Yeah.
So sorry.
I wish you
truly
the best
like
of
the
luck.
Shit with your house. I'm so sorry. This is like, you're right. The title of this, decidedly not a pretend problem. Yeah, this is a real problem. True. And just know that like you are justified in feeling the way you feel. And I don't think your ultimate question for us is like, do you continue to deal with not being treated as a priority? It's up to you. Like, you get to decide what your boundaries are, but you're doing couples counseling, you're expressing everything to her. So I just hope for your guys' sake that it does get better and that she kind of like gets her shit together.
Oh, and you do all of the cooking, most of the cleaning, and the dog walking, etc.
I'm like, what is she doing then?
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Oof.
What would you guys do?
I do not envy that, but sometimes I don't know. I don't want to say it, but sometimes someone needs such a wake up call. Such a humongous wake-up call, whatever that is. I mean, I just read that last thing. I'm like, what in the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. You got to do what's right for you, but this isn't okay. It sounds like this is like really.
Okay, if you're in with 4 kids involved too, it's like, I hope they're seeing all the effort you're putting in.
Yeah.
Oof, man, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer than that.
Yeah, I don't understand what she is doing, I suppose, if you're doing all this, because it's wild. But keep us updated if you would like to. Okay. We'll do uno más. This is titled Episode 2.
Ooh, going way back.
Going way back. Hello, Chad and Kelsey. I just started listening to your podcasts and noticed something that might be addressed in a later episode, but thought you guys might appreciate it. Kelsey says, "Oh my God, you look so nice." Chad thinks, "I just walked by a mirror. Are you out of your fucking mind?" It's because the compliment wasn't specific. My husband does the same thing, gives vague compliments. I prefer specific compliments. Pro tip for Kelsey, if you give enough of these tiny specific compliments, he might actually start to believe them. Chad understands that his negative self-image is illogical, so he'll appreciate a logical solution to accepting your love language. Since his love language is clearly acts of service, he'll appreciate the effort that it takes for you to devise a more comprehensive compliment. From a 16-year veteran of fake fighting, offering unsolicited advice. P.S. I completely disagree with the no car fighting rule. We have our best tough talks on the 2.5-hour drive to the Twin Cities. We can't escape and the conversation has to happen. Just fucking rip that Band-Aid off. P.P.S. If you think the drive to Fergus sucks, try Marshall. Fucking zigzagging 2 lanes the whole way, dodging farm equipment and semi-trucks while being stuck behind someone going 5 under the speed limit. I have become the Hulk where my secret is simply to be angry all the time. Thank you for this email. This is a layer cake. We've got a bunch of little things all together.
Yeah. I still believe not fighting in the car is a good idea.
Agreed.
Only because, just because of the way my brain works. I think I should not be in a moving vehicle.
I agree.
And I'm not, and by the way, let me be clear. I think that was maybe could be taken a certain way, but in no way would I flip the car or drive into oncoming traffic. That's not what I meant. I just don't think I should be in an enclosed space having to concentrate when I'm with a very big argument.
Yeah. And this wasn't a rule we thought of. This is a rule that was passed on to us from one of my friends who's like made it a thing in their relationship. And it said that it had helped them so much. And I do think, you guys know when I talk about energy on the podcast, but like when you are driving, you're in a tight, confined space. Even just like a slightly raised voice in a car feels, I think.
Especially with this one.
Feels highly sensitive person over here.
Fucking 2 parents that would stroke her hair. Time to get up for the bus. The bus is coming. Actually, you don't take the bus because the kids yell and it scares you. Time for us to bring you to school. Wake up, sunshine. You woke up to fucking songs, I guarantee it. I woke up to, the fucking bus is going to be here in 5 minutes! From upstairs. All the way downstairs, I heard that shit. Through my spine, it would electrify my fingertips. I'd be like, oh shit, 5 minutes! That's how, so when you think I raise my voice, it is not even close. I am speaking clearly and you're like, that's a volume I'm not comfortable with. I'm like, I'm just speaking clearly so you understand. Like, I'm being very, very clear. I don't think I've ever yelled at you. Like yelled? I don't think I've ever yelled at you.
Yeah.
So we can't have fights in the car because sometimes when I'm like, here's actually what I think. And you're like, am I about to be murdered? That was question 23 out of 27 on the list.
I also think when you can't give your full attention to like a serious conversation in the car because the person driving has to also be navigating. There's just a bunch of parts of it. I just don't think it's the best environment. Number two, I didn't get screamed at by my parents because I was also a good kid. Like I wasn't doing anything that they would need to scream at me about.
Half the time, neither was I.
I was a rule follower.
It was the baseline. It was baseline.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I suppose my mom probably came down and knocked on the door and was like, hey, get up.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. And then she'd come down the stairs. Time to get up. And then, the fucking bus is going to be
So there's the backstory for that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
Okay.
But I mean, okay, whatever.
Not like you should ever be yelled at. I'm just saying that I don't know. It just wasn't happening.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think about the compliment thing? I feel like I do give you very specific compliments.
Yeah, I started smirking because very specific compliments. Listen, I don't really want to get into this, but I will tell you, I just also don't know if very specific compliments. Like you've said, like, oh my God, your teeth are so white. You take such good care of your teeth. Mm-hmm. You say that stuff, and I'm like, oh, thanks. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess if it's specific, but there are just compliments I just won't take from you. Mm. So I don't know what to do about that.
Mm. Okay. I don't know either.
Yeah. And this is not a conversation. I'm going to tell you something. There aren't many of these, but this is not a conversation for the podcast or any other time.
Okay.
This is just something I'm going to die with at 93 in my sleep. And then you're going to collect a fat check.
Okay, well, I try. I give specific and vague compliments, but I mean both of them.
That's true.
So
that's true.
All right, guys. Thank you for writing in. I don't know where to go from there.
I think you look very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, your eyes with a maroon top surrounded by green with green leggings. It's crazy because your lips match your shirt and your eyes are as green as I've ever seen them, maybe.
Whoa. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I'm just reporting the news.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. See? I can do it too.
Oh, we didn't do our tour dates. I'm in Omaha this weekend and Chad's in Madison.
It's true. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday early sold out, Saturday late, Friday early really super close. So if you want tickets, come to Thursday or Friday late show. Do it.
Hell yeah. Omaha, Phoenix, Providence, Dania Beach, San Antonio, Austin. That's what's left this year. And then get ready for next week because I think we're both announcing our 2025 tour dates or like our first half 2025.
Can't wait.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.